recording of this race is sponsored by JB Transmission. Specializing in foreign and domestic repairs, trust JB for all your performance needs. Check us out at www.jbtransmission.com or visit us at 256 St. Mary's Road in Winnipeg. This video production is sponsored by RD Sales and Service Limited. We service what others sell. For all mechanical repairs, trust our professionals. RD Sales and Service is a proud sponsor of the number 17 Super Truck and Sprint Car.
Inside row 2, the 29, Dylan Sabatini. He drives for FXR. Outside, the direct buy number 1 is Chris Soren. Inside row 3, the 31 out of Winkler is Frank Elias. Outside, out of Winnipeg, the Emery Demolition 10, Amber Balkin. Inside row 4, out of Winkler, Manitoba, driving the Pioneer number 27 is Chris Unruh. Outside, the number 7 is Brent Stagg out of Niverville. Inside row number 5, the Bell's Properties Services number 14 is Ed Bell. Outside, the 9 is Matt Zaleski. Inside row 6, a rookie, the 13 is Al Giesbrecht. Another rookie outside of 6, the 43, Robert Livingstone. Inside row 7, 33 is Murray Temple, and outside the 17 is Jesse Giesbrecht. Oh, heads up, we've got trouble in turn 1 and 2. The 10 is involved, the 31. Looks like the 33. And I can't see who's off the top of turn number 1 and 2. Most of the cars rolling out of there. But wow, things happen quick in this particular class. Of course, open wheels. Just like their big brothers, the full-size sprint cars. And at the speeds these drivers travel, well, things happen in a great big hurry. So it looks like the Emery Demolition Bailey number 10 of Amber Balkin stopped in turn 1 and 2. Murray Temple rolling his car. That is car number 33 in turn 1 and 2. He appears to be okay. We will get things looked after in turn number 1 and 2. Well, just like as Pat describes it, the crotch rocket motorcycle these engines come from, these cars use a chain drive just like the motorcycle, a full 6-speed transmission, and the motorcycle clutch. What they'll generally do is start the race out of turn 4 in 2nd gear and shift up to 3rd about halfway down the front straightaway. Once they're in their race gear, or 3rd gear in most cases, they will leave it there and pin it and have at her in the Northern Lightning sprints. If you're interested in going Lightning Sprint racing, this class has its own website. It is nlsprints.com, nlsprints.com. Do check it out. Great website full of lots of information, the rules package, used cars in the classified section, and all kinds of other great stuff. Once again, nlsprints.com. And speaking of sprints, don't forget next Thursday right here at Red River Co-op Speedway. July 26th is the date. The guys coming into town, the All-Star Circuit of Champions. It's going to be a great show next Thursday night right here at Red River Co-op Speedway. Get your tickets now at the Shirt Shack. $15 laps remain on the board for the Northern Lightning Sprint Association, so no laps in. We will go to a complete restart, hoping that most of the cars will be back in the field. It looks like the 14 car of Ed Bell is involved over there. That is the Bell's Property Services number 14. 2009 Bailey chassis with a 2007 Suzuki GSX-R 1000 on board. He is a former Southern Ontario late model pavement racer, and his father actually raced a car called a Super Modified, and I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Super Modifieds, but they race on asphalt. They have a big block Chevrolet, and they are absolute rockets. Look a bit like a sprint car, kind of a wider, more aggressive sprint car, but the super modified's famous in the northeast of the United States, and I've seen them a few times at Volusia County Speedway in Florida when they had an asphalt track, and those super modifieds are absolutely unbelievable. All right, so Amber Balkan getting ready to roll her 10 car out of turn number 1 and 2. Ed Bell's 14, not sure if that's able to continue. We're just waiting for a radio report on the status of the 14 car off turn 1 and 2. Rest of the pack waiting for the green flag in turn number 3 and 4. Well, just like the full-size sprint cars, these cars are built with 4130 chromoly aircraft quality tubing. They are TIG welded together in a jig. They are purpose-built race cars. Use aluminum wheels, aluminum rear axles, chromoly front axles, torsion bars just like the World of Outlaws sprint cars. And of course, they are allowed a single adjustable shock. Some of the cars being allowed double adjustables, but in the Northern Lightning sprints, a single adjustable only. So what these drivers will do is, of course, run rebound adjustable shocks on the front and on the left rear, and a compression adjustable shock on the right rear. So on a rough or heavy track, they can dial up the compression as the car gets on the right rear going into the corner. On a real dry slick track, they can decrease the rebound on the front shocks and allow them to pop up and transfer weight very quickly to the rear axle and rear tires, which gets them to drive on a dry slick track. So they work exactly the same as the All-Star Circuit of Champions sprint cars. These things make about 185 horsepower in a 730-pound car. Of course, the All-Star Circuit of Champions exceed 800 horsepower, but those cars are almost double the weight. So we're going to get to see them next Thursday, July 26th, right here at Red River Co-op Speedway. Well, Amber Balkan at the bottom of turn number 2 now. Not sure if she's going to be able to continue or not. Just awaiting word from turn number 1 and 2. Well, we understand the 31 car of Frank Elias is headed back to the pit area. He's out of Winkler.
What have we heard there, Dale? Anything?
4 disabled cars and 1 tow truck. That pretty much sums it up in a nutshell.
Is everybody okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The 14's got a sore leg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hit the steering box.
All right, well, word is from turn number 1 and 2, all the drivers are okay, so that's great. We're not sure who's going to continue from that melee over in turn 1 and 2 just yet, but we'll pass along that information as they fire up. But it looks like the 14 car might be heading back to the pit area. He is on the hook. Don't forget, you can always log on to our website at redrivercoopspeedway.ca. Keep up with the entire 2012 schedule. Vince Proto, our webmaster, has done a great job redesigning that site. There's all kinds of cool information. A lot easier to find. Driver profiles and all kinds of other neat stuff at redrivercoopspeedway.ca.
We got 1 more to pick up, right? 10? Yeah, 10.
Well, don't forget the Manitoba Karting Association will be at Red River Exhibition Park this weekend if you want to watch some kart racing. Done in Winnipeg instead of Gimli, well, get on over to Red River Exhibition Park this weekend.
Okay, guys, you can
Okay, we're under yellow now.
complete restart minus the
Looks like we
cars
might be
there.
getting a little bit of weather here pretty soon.
A nice,
Lightning in the sky, lightning sprints on the racetrack. And they are fired up and getting ready to go for their feature once again. While these engines, as I told you earlier, are required to be 100% stock, they are allowed an aftermarket air filter and an aftermarket header and a box called a power commander or a Bazaz unit that controls the fuel injection. But other than that, they must run 91 octane premium pump gas found at Red River Co-op throughout the city. We bring a couple of drums in before the night and they run the same fuel out of the same drum. This is the 4th year of existence of the Northern Lightning Sprint Association. The first 3 years they ran only Suzuki 750 engines, which produced about 150 horsepower at the crankshaft. Now with the 1000s they're running, they're up about 35 horsepower with the same cars. So a little more difficult to drive with the extra 35 horsepower, especially on a dry track like we have tonight. So we see a lot more driver skill involved these days with that 1000cc engine. They are a lot harder to hang on to. Well, Amber Balkan's 10, sponsored by Emery Demolition and North Star, is on the hook, so a tough break for her in her 2008 Bailey with a GSXR 1000 engine. So we have 10 remaining cars on the racetrack. I'm not sure yet if we're getting any extras out of the pit area. 1 to green. All right, the Northern Lightning Sprint Association pacing down the back straightaway now. Your pole sitter, the Mazer Group 35W of Wally Butler, had a great race in the heat here tonight, as did the guy beside him, the Pack It Away Mobile Storage 2 of Roland Bernard, a 2-time NLSA champion. Here we go. Chris Soren on the high side of turn number 2 gets by the 29 of Dylan Sabatini, but Sabatini coming right back. Wally Butler looking strong in the Mazer Group 35W, pulling away from 2-time champion Bernard. Chris Unruh, the Pioneer number 27, now working on Sabatini. He gets underneath him. $12 to go. Last lap time for Wally Butler, 19.0 seconds. 19 seconds flat. He is flying. Wally Butler looking silky smooth in his brand new 2012 Henchcraft chassis. Blue flag with the yellow stripe coming out previously, letting the lappers know that your leader coming around them and Grand fashion. Wally Butler just flying out here. Unreal. Wally Butler, your leader in the Mazer Group 35W, working his way through lap traffic. Roland Bernard now trying to get through Robert Livingstone, and he does. Chris Soren now getting into lap traffic. Contend with lap traffic. Wally Butler is in turn 4. 2 to go. Wally Butler has obviously found a magical combination here in this Northern Lightning Sprint Association feature. White flag is out, and he is leading by, well, about a half a track. In fact, exactly half a track. Checkered flag is out. Your winner, the Mazer Group 35W of Wally Butler, coming home in the #1 spot, and what a drive he had. Second spot is going to go to the Pack-It-Away Mobile Storage. Ward Trucking, #2 of Roland Bernard. Chris Soren, 3rd. Chris Unruh, 4th. Well, that's laying a licking on your competitors. Wally Butler in the Mazer Group 35W, a 2012 Henchcraft with a 2008 Suzuki GSX-R 1000. Picking up the win in convincing fashion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again want to remind you about next Thursday in the All-Star Circuit of Champions. The sprints are here next Thursday night. Get your tickets. We'd like to thank you for coming out on this night. We hope you have a safe drive home, and we'll see you next Thursday night right here for the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Have a great night, folks. We'll see you next Thursday.